All right, so bring Evan's guest in. It doesn't say who the guest is. I don't see it here. Evans will be taking over,
I
but
believe Daniel Faust.
oh, you've got it. So okay, so as soon as they kick me out, they'll bring them in, and then you will have the reins. And that's it for me tonight, apparently. So I'm going to go spend some time with the wife. The wife.
Very important.
All right, Daniel's on. I'm out. You guys have a happy, successful rest of the night. Take the weekend.
Already. Thank you. All right. Hello, Daniel. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yes, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us on Smile-A-Thon.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Faust is a 25-year Air Force veteran serving his community to thrive from the prayer room to the boardroom. And he wants you to heal so your smile is long lasting. And with
Correct.
that, Daniel, floor is yours.
Well, thank you for letting me go over and join. So what I mean about the smile lasting long term is most of the time, especially us as veterans, we don't smile as often. I have to remind myself to do that. And we usually go through a lot of things. Like I'm now hit 25 years today, and I have about 15 days left, and I've gone through a lot of stuff and everything else. And so is our veterans. So we're more concerned more than just showing on the fake smile and actually showing that eternal smile and actually having joy. So we help our veterans transform holistically from the prayer room to the boardroom where they want to transform. So when they get out of the service, they might be struggling in their faith. They might be struggling in their marriage. They might be struggling with their family. They might be struggling to get back into the economy and become that civilian patriot. Because I know for myself, it's been a long journey myself. I've done this twice. I tried to become back a civilian about 13 years ago, and now I'm doing the journey again. And so we just don't want the smile on the photo. We want that joy to come out of them. So we help them through that transformation. So that is pretty much what we do in a nutshell. We do that through speaking, teaching, and content creation. As you can see behind me, our logo, War Hero to Superhero, that is our air war to get out the message of transformation from the prayer room to the boardroom. And then we go out and we do speaking events. We got blessed to be out at the Military Influencer Conference where we met Dr. Ken a few years ago. And he helped us publish our book and get onto the big Jumbotron, Leave No Veteran Behind. So that's how we go over and bring smiles to the world. We just don't want it just to be just a photo. We want it to be authentic. We want it to be real. We want it to be joy out of their heart and out of their soul. So that's what we go over and do. So that's what it is in a nutshell, Evans.
Oh, that is fun. That is fantastic, Daniel. Thank you so much for sharing that. And by the way, thank you so much for your service. So tell us a little bit about, number one, where you get your smile from, and what are the ways you help other people to smile, or the world to smile, if you will.
Well, for me, it's Jesus. That's where I primarily get my smile at. Like for me, going over and teaching that and going over and professing that particular thing, that's where I go for that. And to give my smile to the world is giving other people Jesus. And sometimes it's not just directly through scripture and Bible and everything else. It's sometimes through the actions we go over and do and how we go over and serve. One of the ways recently we got to go over and to do that was actually to do a 22-day rucksack challenge recently for Triple B Adventures. So we fundraised $222,000 through doing that venture. We didn't get that high of an amount, but we were excited to go over and to do those 22 days. So we went live on Facebook every single day between 15 to 30 minutes, brought up one of the topics that we as veterans struggle with and how Triple B Adventures connects with that. And then we culminated on that last day, September 11th, and we did 4 hours of a rucksack challenge. So literally putting the backpack on with the weight in the gear, walking the path. We do about 10.5 to 11 miles that last day. And we asked people to go over and join. So that's how we transferred that smile. So Triple B was excited that we went to go over and fundraise for them. So it's a tactical and practical way that we go over and bring smiles to the community. So, and also a portion of our proceeds goes. So every time someone purchases some of our merch, goes over and buys a book, buys a course, If we do a speaking engagement, we take a portion between 2 to 10% and we donate that. So we look at where we're at in the year. If we can do more, we do more. But we also, that during that fundraiser, 100% of the proceeds go there. So all that $201 that was raised during those 22 days went to them seamlessly. We were hoping for a lot bigger, but we were still excited that we were able to go over and to do that and still be blessed to go over and do that, because years ago I couldn't even walk. I had to learn how to walk again. So that's another thing that makes me smile, is that I can go over and still do the things that I thought I wouldn't be able to do years ago.
Oh, that is fantastic. Sounds like you've had quite a journey yourself, and challenges to overcome, and sounds like that provides fuel for you also to be able to help others. I am curious. I see you here on this other side helping your fellow brothers and sisters who've been in the military, and I'm curious: is there a person that did that for you?
No, it was not a person personally that did that for me. It was more of a faith journey for me. So I was agnostic, atheist person when I first came in the military and everything else. And my testimony is kind of brash, but I'll just try to keep it PG as much as possible. But I was going to churches like multiple times a week and Bible studies and everything else, but I wasn't walking with God. I didn't have that joy inside me. And it was the week before I was going to get baptized. So I agreed with things and I didn't know what I was agreeing with. And this guy told me how much I sucked and how much I needed Jesus. I wasn't smiling that day. I was actually very angry that day. But the Lord convicted me after about 2 to 3 days after that altercation that we had. And then I became a Christian. The one thing that started to bring me joy, and one guy that at least started that journey with me, and I don't think he was aware of it, there was this guy named Vern Salter. He was a prior Army guy, but he was doing military ministry in Germany. And I moved from one location to another. I'll try to not make it too military since we're on a broad spectrum. So I moved to Germany. I met this guy, Vern Salter, and he basically learned to love me as Christ loves me, and we love the church. So he discipled and mentored me for about 2 years. So I would say our business model is kind of built on that. We call it coaching, but really what we're doing is discipleship. We're walking with each other one-on-one or one-on-many. So there was moments that I would be taken places and I would learn how to be a husband and a father and a Christian while we did adventures together. And there's other times that we would do group things together and learning how to go over and to learn to walk. So I think that's similar to what we do. It's not exactly, because obviously 25 years into the future in a sense, but I think Vern Salter was that main guy that helped me to learn how to do that walk. So I might not be quote unquote smiling every day. I'm also autistic, so I'm thinking so many different things in my head. So I have to actively remind everybody, I'm like, yeah, I'm smiling, but my heart is joyous when I'm going over and helping people. My heart is joyous when I'm going over and speaking. My heart is joyous when I'm going over and teaching. I might not have that perfect Colgate smile like everyone else does in that particular regard, but it makes me joyous when I see transformation, like someone's struggling in their marriage and we're able to help them to get healing. When they go over and they don't have a faith and now they're walking with Jesus. When they go over and don't understand their kids and we're helping them understand their kids, so they're not just doing this every day, and going over and they find an opportunity and a blessing within the civilian community as they make their transformation out of the service. That brings me joy. Like when I went to the Military Influencer Conference recently and got to speak, that brings me joy because I was able to give my heart to them so they can heal. So I would say that's the main thing, the reason why we do it. And I would say Vern Salter was probably a catalyst of that, but it was a long time from when he discipled me to when we started. Me breaking my back was probably the catalyst to start this whole entire ministry / business.
Wow, that is great, Daniel. I'm happy to hear of that experience that you had, and we all have people that at some point either plant a seed. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I especially loved what you said about having a holistic approach, right? You're trying to help the whole man, spirit, mind, body, social aspects, and things like that. And I'm a Christian myself, and so just hearing you say that at the end of the day, it's about that eternal smile, right?
Yeah.
So, well, we got about a minute to go, and in this last minute, I just want you to talk to our audience and tell them how they can connect with you even more. Social
The
media,
sim
websites, like that.
the simplest way to connect, because you're only going to remember 8% of this interview. You're going to remember the beginning and the end. So the end of the matter is, if you go to Linktree/warhero to superhero, you can find everything about us, from what we do for our books and our crowdfunding, also growing our social media and everything else. So if you go to Linktree/warhero to superhero, you'll find everything there. That's the simplest way to go. Remember that. And if you forget that and you need a 2% boost of memory, Daniel Faust, just Google that on social media and you'll find me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Daniel. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for sharing your story and your smile with us.
Thank you much.
Have a good night. Already.